Welcome to Monday. Welcome to May, or should I say March, given what the weather was like today and what it will be like tomorrow. Hey everyone, it's Eric here. Weather for Weather Geeks. We've got some good news to talk about for a change this evening. Last week it was all about the run-up to this abnormally cold pattern. This week, the end is in sight. Things are going to improve big time by the end of the week and the upcoming weekend, but we've got to get through a couple of pretty grisly days coming up Tuesday and Wednesday before we see that improvement. First, since it is May 1st, let's quickly review April. Temperature-wise, we ended up 2.5 degrees above the average. That's despite 9 consecutive cooler than average days to end the month. We're going to make it 14 in a row before the pattern changes late this week. But we had big anomalies on the other side of the coin during mid-month with 6 80-degree days in the mix during April. So when you factor in highs and lows, 2.5 degrees above the average. Got a few little things I forgot to delete there, but precipitation-wise, it ended up being pretty close to the average, a little below in some spots, a little above in some places. At the airport, it was kind of a damp end to the month with a half an inch on Friday, a little bit on Saturday, and then another tenth of an inch or so on Sunday. Now, let's look ahead to May. Now, this map may be a little bit deceiving because you don't see a lot of oranges and reds nearby. You see a blue circle. Chances are decent that May will go into the record books as cooler than average, but a lot of that is because of what happens at the very beginning of the month. We're going to dig ourselves a big hole over the next few days with huge temperature anomalies on the cold side. Today, tomorrow, and again on Wednesday, even Thursday will be very chilly compared to the average. Next week looks a lot different, and then after that I think it's more of a back and forth pattern. It may come out in the wash as a little cooler than average, depends on just how things go during the second half of the month. But yeah, it's a lock, of course, that this week is way colder than average, and next week will be a handful of degrees warmer than the average. We have higher confidence in the outcome precipitation-wise. I do think this will be a drier than average month across the Great Lakes in the upper Ohio Valley and into the Mahoning and Shenango Valleys as well. And this may be a precursor of the summer pattern. We're going to talk about that at the end of the video. But May is not looking particularly bountiful in terms of rainfall, despite how damp our forecast is over the next couple of days. All right, May 1st is the beginning of the final stretch of meteorological spring. The months of March, April, and May are 30-year averages as far as high temperatures go. Rise from 67 today to 75 at the end of the month, and we continue climbing up to 83. That's where we peak at the end of June and the start of July as far as long-term averages and high temperatures. All right, nothing high about these temperatures. I mean, it's pretty grim out there. It's cold, it's blustery, rain showers been coming and going throughout the daylight hours for today. And it's cold enough that, yes, it is May and there's a winter storm warning out for the ski resort areas in the mountains of West Virginia. I look back at the records, reliable records on this sort of statistics are only easily available, or readily available, I should say, back to 2005. But it's been since sometime before 2005 since the Pittsburgh National Weather Service office has had to issue a winter storm warning for anywhere in their area of jurisdiction during the month of May. It's been a long time. This is an unusual pattern, and there's another batch of winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories up across the UP of Michigan and extreme northern Wisconsin as well. No advisories, of course, around here. Snowfall totals will be negligible, but maybe we get measurable snow in some spots tonight. There might be up to a tenth officially at the airport. And all of this ugly weather is underneath this big swirl in the atmosphere. This is an upper level low that is stuck. The pattern is all bottled up across North America, and this is going to stay stuck for another couple of days, and that is not great news for us. And yes, snowflakes I think will be in the air overnight tonight. Now, this is hardly going to stick to anything, of course, but maybe on some grassy surfaces, maybe on your car top or your windshield first thing tomorrow morning. Might there be a little skiff of snow? That's possible. But everything's just going to be pretty much wet tomorrow morning. And again, I can't rule out officially at the airport, maybe we get up to a tenth of an inch or so worth of snow. I've got the isobars on the weather map again this evening, and when you see this many isobars on a weather map and they're packed together like this, you know wind is going to be a player, so it'll be breezy again tomorrow, showers coming and going, and this will be the coldest May 2nd in terms of the high temperature on record. We have a forecast of 42 tomorrow. The record, I believe, is 45, 46 maybe, as far as the coldest high temperature on record for May the 2nd. One more day like this on Wednesday, and then finally this upper level low is going to get the boot by Thursday, going out over the Atlantic. There'll be some sunny breaks on Thursday. It's going to be chilly, but just not as raw Thursday. Not as much wind. We'll sneak into the 50s. Still a dozen degrees cooler than average, but hey, it's better than the lower 40s. All right, so we're way past that 30-year average last measurable snowfall. That was back on April the 11th. But you'll notice we have some May dates recently as far as measurable snow at the Youngstown Warren Airport. 2 years in a row, 2020, 2021, where we had measurable snow on May the 9th. I believe this one was on Mother's Day in 2021. And then back in 2016, the second latest snowfall on record occurred on May 15th, 0.2. May 16th, back in the 1960s, is our latest official measurable snowfall at the Youngstown Warren Airport. So assuming we probably get something more than a trace at the airport between now and Wednesday morning, this should make, our fourth time since 2016 that we've had measurable snow in the month of May, despite the long-term average being during that second week of April. All right, so those will be the last snowflakes of the season that mix with the rain at times tonight and again probably tomorrow night. And then probably the last frost threat of the season. Not a hard freeze, but a frost threat for Friday morning. I doubt anyone except maybe the coldest nooks flirt with freezing Friday morning. But I do think with air temperatures around maybe 35, 36 in some places, there'll be some frost with a clear sky Friday morning. And that should be it for the season. And beyond that, nothing but great news for the weekend as the pattern changes. This upper low finally gets the boot. And in its place, a pretty nice ridge of high pressure starts poking up east of the Rockies. And with this kind of pattern, we've got sunshine in store for the weekend, a warm up as well. With troughing starting to reemerge in the western U.S., this will start to increase the severe weather episodes across parts of the Midland, parts of the Corn Belts probably, and parts of the southeast as well as we head towards mid-Bay. It also means warmer days ahead for us. So it's a pattern change for sure that's coming up, and that's reflected in today's 8 to 14 day outlook put out by the Climate Prediction Center. Good chance that this period, May 9th through May 15th, will be warmer than the average. I think we've got a lot of 70 degree days in our future, probably no mid-late 80s or anything like that, but some 70s at least. I think beyond this, it's a little more back and forth. That's the way the modeling depicts things right now for the rest of May, but this second week or so of May, the 9th through the 15th, is looking pretty good in the temperature department. Here on the first day of the month, we get a fresh batch of long-range modeling from the Canadians. This is called the CanSIPS model. And what we're looking at here is the latest run available today as far as precipitation anomalies during the summer season, June, July, August. And this model and a lot of other models, and going along with the idea that we're going to have an El Nino developing this summer, paints a pretty dry picture for us during the summer season. This has analog support. In other words, when we look back at emerging El Ninos during the summer season, especially if they're on the stronger side, it paints kind of a dry picture for eastern Ohio and western PA with more plentiful rains out towards the Corn Belt. But it's kind of a dry setup, historically speaking, and a lot of the modeling is picking up on this as we go into the summer season. I've been talking about this frequently on Weather for Weather Geeks, that I'm concerned that we end up having a pretty dry summer. I do not think it'll be an excessively hot summer. Now, could it be standard issue temperature-wise, pretty close to average? I could see that. I could also see it being a little cooler than average, but I think the least likely outcome is a scorching hot, abnormally hot summer with an El Nino coming on as advertised by the modeling, and there's real-time truth to that. You can see it in the current sea surface temperatures out across the Pacific. The El Nino is just almost here as far as officially being declared, and it could become a moderate one sometime by mid-summer. So we'll talk more about the longer range future editions of Weather for Weather Geeks. In the meantime, have some patience with this weather pattern, and thank you for watching on this Monday evening. I'll see you back here on Tuesday.